Once upon a time, in a small village called Evergreen, lived a group of friendly people. Evergreen was a peaceful place surrounded by green hills and clear rivers. The villagers were happy and lived simple lives. They farmed their lands, took care of their families, and enjoyed each other's company. Among the villagers was a young boy named Tim. Tim was very curious. He loved to ask questions and learn new things. Every day, he would go to different people in the village and ask them about their work. He wanted to know everything about farming, cooking, building, and more. One sunny morning, Tim decided to visit Mr. Harris, the village carpenter. Mr. Harris was known for making the best furniture in Evergreen. Tim had always been fascinated by the way Mr. Harris turned pieces of wood into beautiful chairs and tables. "Good morning, Mr. Harris," Tim greeted cheerfully as he entered the workshop. "Good morning, Tim," Mr. Harris replied with a smile. "What brings you here today?" "I want to learn how you make such amazing furniture," Tim said excitedly. Mr. Harris chuckled. "Well, it's a long process, but I'll be happy to show you." Tim watched closely as Mr. Harris explained each step. First, he showed Tim how to select the right kind of wood. Then he demonstrated how to measure and cut the wood into different pieces. Tim was amazed by the precision and skill required for each step. As the days passed, Tim spent more and more time with Mr. Harris, learning the craft of carpentry. He practiced diligently and soon became quite good at making simple furniture. The villagers noticed Tim's dedication and began to appreciate his efforts. One evening, while Tim was working on a small table, he heard a commotion outside. He put down his tools and rushed out to see what was happening. To his surprise, he saw a group of strangers in the village square. They looked tired and hungry. The villagers gathered around the strangers, curious about who they were and why they had come to Evergreen. An elderly woman from the group stepped forward and spoke. "We are travelers from a distant land," she said. "Our village was destroyed by a storm, and we have been wandering for days, looking for a place to stay." The villagers felt sympathy for the travelers. They knew they had to help. The village chief, Mr. Adams, stepped forward and addressed the crowd. Days turned into weeks, and the travelers began to settle in Evergreen. They started helping with the daily chores and shared their own skills with the villagers. Tim made friends with a boy named Sam, who was one of the travelers. Sam was good at painting, and he taught Tim how to create beautiful designs on furniture. One day, Tim had an idea. He suggested to Mr. Harris that they should make a big, beautiful table for the village square. It would be a symbol of unity and friendship between the villagers and the travelers. Mr. Harris loved the idea and agreed to help. Together, Tim, Mr. Harris, and Sam worked on the table. The whole village watched with excitement as the table took shape. It was the most beautiful piece of furniture anyone had ever seen. The top of the table was decorated with intricate paintings, thanks to Sam's artistic skills. When the table was finally finished, the villagers held a big celebration. They placed the table in the center of the village square and gathered around it. Mr. Adams made a speech, thanking everyone for their hard work and cooperation. "This table is a symbol of our unity," he said. "It shows that when we come together, we can achieve great things. Let's always remember the importance of kindness and helping others." The villagers and the travelers cheered and clapped. They shared a delicious meal and enjoyed each other's company. Tim felt a deep sense of happiness. He realized that his curiosity and willingness to learn had led to something wonderful. From that day on, Evergreen became known as the village of friendship and unity. People from nearby villages heard about the story and visited to see the beautiful table and meet the kind-hearted villagers. Tim continued to learn new things and share his knowledge with others. He knew that as long as he kept asking questions and being curious, he could make a difference in the world. And so, the village of Evergreen lived happily ever after, a shining example of how curiosity, kindness, and cooperation can create a better world for everyone.